Those of us who've had the privilege to know have also got the duty to act. And that is how I pretty much see veganism and vegan advocacy.
I'm spinning in circles by the straight out of light, with every excuse I'm falling behind.
I've had the privilege over the years, as I've educated myself more and more in terms of why being vegan is great for personal health, why veganism is an amazing option for the animals, and why being vegan is so essential for the environment. So with this information that I've acquired over the years and researched and put my heart into, because it's just such a passion of mine to know more and more and to keep up to date with what's happening, I have gathered information that I feel like I have to share with people, because it would be disingenuous for me not to. And I wished I'd have known this information sooner, because I would have made better informed choices had I have known what I know now when I was growing up. I would have definitely, instead of going vegetarian first, I'd have just gone vegan. And so once you're in a situation where you know information, you're knowing what these animals are going through, you're knowing the abuse that they're enduring on a daily basis, you're knowing what mutilations that happen to them as a routine practice, you're knowing how they're feeling almost as you're seeing them being transported into a slaughterhouse. Once you know this, and you know, and you've seen the footage from the hidden cameras inside the slaughterhouses, and you know how the staff are treating them, once you know this, the hardest part of being a vegan is having to find a way to communicate it to family and friends and people that you meet that don't know it and are simply just going about their life in the best way they possibly can, in the best way that they know, with the resources that they have available, in the situation that they may be currently in. And to do that in a way that doesn't look preachy and isn't patronising or just unfriendly. Because my whole take on this is, I am vegan because vegans do the least amount of harm. And so it's really important to me, and I know I can speak for a lot of other vegans, it's really important to me that I am kind, compassionate, considerate, careful, gentle, and just coming from a place of honesty with people just as much as for the animals. It's not just about the animals. Animals are a massive part of this. They are pretty much what fuel my advocacy for being vegan. The health also, and the planet too. It's all three for me, but the animals and seeing what they go through is the thing that really, really pulls on my heartstrings and makes me feel compelled to share the information that I know with you. But to find yourself in a situation where you're with a group of people or a person that you completely love, that, you know, it might be family, it might be friends, it just a place where you have heart connections with these people, and to see them pouring these animal fleshes and secretions into their body, when you know that's going to do them no good, you know that it's just been pain, suffering, torment and torture for these poor animals that are being served up. You know that they haven't had a good life, and if they have had a good life, you know that wasn't fair to have taken it from them. When you know all this information, it's so hard to be around people that don't know it and are unconsciously consuming and wearing and enjoying these animals. And I find myself often in a really compromised situation whereby I feel like I need to speak up and say something and plant some seeds, but I know that the people I'm with just are not ready to hear it. and that could be for a variety of different reasons, but that's the bit for me that is the hardest point, the hardest bit about being vegan. You may feel that being vegan is challenging because of the food situation, but I can honestly tell you from my position that the food is the easiest part. Eating vegan food is the easiest part to this for me. It is so easy to eat vegan and to buy vegan products. It's a habit. And the reason why being vegan might be challenging when you are not vegan and you're trying to think about how that would be, you think, oh, but dairy, but eggs, but animal products, and you go through it all and you think, how do you live like this? You're feeling like that because you're in your own habit, and to look outside of that seems too daunting and not part of your process. But when you develop a new process and you're really comfortable with it, and it's how you live your life, and it's the products you buy and the food you make, and it's always the same, then there is no difficulty in doing that because you get used to living in a certain way. So that is the easy part for me, especially. That is the real easy part. I go to buy milk, no problem. All I do is I just move my arm slightly further along to the right, and I grab that oat milk instead of that cow's milk. I mean, it's so simple. There's certain aisles of the supermarket I don't go down. I don't need to go down them. I don't need to see flesh. I'm definitely not going to buy it. So there's a lot of the supermarket I will avoid, and I'll just go down the aisles I need to go down, and that's habitual. But being around family or friends and people you care about, and sometimes there might be people that you don't really care about, people you just maybe just met, or friends of friends that you have no real connection with. But when you can see that they definitely don't know the information that you know, but you feel this duty to kind of like share something, you're not necessarily expecting them to just have a light bulb moment and go vegan on the spot just like this, but you feel like the need to drop some kind of information into the mix, something for them to think about, just some substance there. Often people are not doing the same as us because they are not ready, they don't agree with it, and they have a lot of objections. So to be that person that comes along and says, hey, but did you know? It can not go down well sometimes. It can fall on deaf ears. And even worse, sometimes the person can be so turned off they will literally shut down and don't even want to hear it. And then you can be left in a situation where you feel worse than when you went in. And it's like this constant compromise. The pain, the suffering, the cruelty, the mutilations, the abuse, the torment, the disgusting conditions, the slaughter process. And when you're with friends and they're celebrating and they're enjoying the cheese and they're loving the meat and they're having the time of their life, it's just so difficult being that person that is not agreeing with that situation, but also doesn't want to compromise the friendships and doesn't want to be the one that's always the difficult one or the preachy vegan or all these other things that people will say when their defense mechanisms are really high. It's really, really challenging, and especially if you're a bit like me, I'm a bit of a people pleaser. I like to get on with people, I like to make new friends, I like to fit in, and I like people generally. I like to meet new people and I like to learn about people. And then when I see the differences between myself and most of the people, that there is a challenge for me. That there is a challenge. And also if you know people who are really sick, it's really challenging. It's really challenging because, initially I went vegan for health. I went vegetarian for the animals when I was younger, but I actually turned vegan for health reasons, and I'll go into that another time. I was seriously ill, and I'll talk about that in another video. And when you go vegan for health, and you come out the other end and you're healthy again, like you become even more passionate because it's an experiment for you and it's worked, okay? So you've got a lot more confidence in the concept of being vegan for better health. So I have a lot of confidence in being vegan for optimum health. And when you know people that are sick, I'm really sick, and they're not willing to change and they're not willing to give plant-based food a try, and they're not willing to cut out meat and dairy and eggs and all the stuff that has been proven by the World Health Organization even as to being carcinogenic and incredibly bad for your health. When you're with these people and they're not willing to make changes that you know will improve their lifestyle and that will increase their lifespan, for me this is the hardest part of being vegan. It is way harder than the food side of things. I promise you, it is so much harder because it's so painful to see people that you love dying and becoming ill and just not having the best lifestyle possible, not living their life to the fullest because the choices they're making. And to be that person that breaks the news, you could be so unpopular for it. And it can be this compromise situation where it's like, if you don't say something, you know, and then this person gets even more ill, then, you know, why didn't you say something? But then you say something and that person's really not ready to hear it, and it doesn't go down very well, and then you've upset that person. So it's a sort of conflict that goes on, can be very, very challenging. So they're my thoughts on what, for me personally, is absolutely the hardest part of being vegan. If you've liked this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications so you get informed about when new videos go live. See you in another video.